2 de var Dele Alli'ye.
That was Dele Alli being booed off by Besiktas fans after being subbed off in only the 29th minute against a second division club. How did a player who was on top of the world scoring goals every week in the Prem and representing his national team end up in this position? That's what we'll take a look at in today's video. The first reason is his position. At MK Dons, Dele played as an attacking 8 and was given licence to get forward and arrive in the box to score goals. This got him 16 goals and 11 assists in his breakout season. At Spurs he played in the number 10 position, but his role was closer to that of a second striker rather than an attacking midfielder. This was the perfect position for Dele, which allowed him to use his strengths such as his goal scoring, his heading ability and his awareness. And for a midfielder he's not the best passer or tackler. This made that position a great fit for him. He didn't have the burden of scoring goals like a main striker does, but neither the creative responsibility of a midfielder. He could play with freedom, and this got the best out of him. He got 22 goals and 13 assists in his best season. Under Mourinho his role was different. There was much more asked of him defensively to be the link between the midfield and the attack. Nuno even tried to play him deeper as a number 6, but this did not suit Dele's style and his performances dipped. So already we can see the problem here. Although he is a versatile player, he needs to be played in a certain position to get the best out of him. This poses many problems for his managers. Number 1, if he is played in his preferred position and doesn't score or assist, he doesn't bring much else to the team. Therefore he is kind of a luxury player, which managers don't want unless you're producing goals and assists regularly. Number 2, when teams play with a number 10 they usually look to build their team around them, and Dele is not the mould of player to do that with, as he isn't the best passer, he rarely creates his own chances, and he's not the player to make things happen out of nowhere. We see this dilemma with other players who are second strikers, such as João Felix and Kai Havertz, who are neither strikers nor midfielders and are struggling in teams who don't utilise them in a way that allows them to give their best, as you see with Havertz, who plays much better for Germany than he does for Chelsea. The sacking of Pochettino was a big reason for the drop in performances for Dele. The player had his best seasons under him, and Pochettino knew how to get the best out of him not only by playing him in the right way, but how he handled things off the pitch. Mourinho replaced Poch and was the opposite of Pochettino in terms of personality and playing style. He was a much more defensive coach and criticised Dele more, which we saw in the All or Nothing documentary, where he would constantly call Dele lazy in front of his teammates.
Where's Dele? I understood already that you are a fucking lazy guy in training. I don't need more days. Lazy. But he doesn't train well. He's not a good trainer. I'm not saying a disaster, but I'm not saying a Harry Kane. You know, Harry Kane trains well. Fucking lazy.
He looked sharp in the first few games under Mourinho and scored 4 goals and 3 assists in the first 5 games. But that didn't last, and Mourinho would often criticise him to the media, which did not help his confidence. Tim Sherwood highlights how many people in football love to criticise Dele Alli in the media.
The thing is with Dele, when I see people criticise Dele, they don't mind doing it in public, do they? You know, everyone you see with Dele, when you hear negative vibes, they criticise him in public. Managers I'm talking about, people who are meant to be on his side, they're always coming out and digging him out. You know, Jose did it quite spectacular, didn't he?
Although what Mourinho said about Dele may have been true in regard to his attitude and work ethic in training, it was not the right method in hindsight to get the best out of the player. And even with his current manager at Besiktas, he has been criticised publicly, with the manager stating that Dele is well below efficiency. Now, Dele has suffered many injuries the past few seasons, and that means a lot of time out, which is difficult for a player. Studies have shown that injuries can lead to serious mental health issues for players, such as depression and becoming isolated, sad and frustrated. Not being able to cope with those feelings can lead to lack of motivation and decreased performance when recovered. Now, players go through physical rehab, but injuries also cause mental trauma, which is often not addressed and can affect a player throughout their career. This trauma can lead to lack of trust with their bodies, in which will make them afraid to do things that they used to. An example of this is Michael Owen, one of the quickest players to ever play the game, who has publicly admitted to changing his style of play after pulling his hamstring and fearing doing so again. He even states that he couldn't wait to retire because of this. Now, injury is always going to be part of the game, but the mental effect on players is often neglected, and Dele may be an example of this. There could be a lot of reasons we don't know about which have led to the downfall of Dele Alli, but in reality most players wish to have a career similar to his. It is a shame considering how high his peak was and the potential he had, but his high number of goals and assists early on in his career has led to an inflated expectation of him, when in reality it was always going to be difficult to consistently produce those numbers and performances. But as they say, it is hard to get to the top, but much harder to stay there. That's the reality for the majority of players who may have a couple of really good seasons at a high level, but decline after reaching that point. I don't believe he will reach the same heights he once did at Tottenham, but it is very possible for him to improve his performances if he plays under the right manager and system without injuries. Thanks for watching.